Welcome back to another hiking adventure. Today I am going to be hiking up North and South Sugarloaf. This is not to be confused with Mount Sugarloaf in Maine, which is a 4,000 footer and prominent ski resort. This is out in western Massachusetts. I'm currently on the Tower Trail blazed in red. Alright, so I've been continuing down the Tower Trail / Old Mountain Trail. I think this trail might have two names. And we've made it to the first junction of the day. So we're now going to jump onto the Pecumtuck Ridge Trail towards South Sugarloaf, 0.4 miles this way. And then we'll come back out and head to North Sugarloaf. So this trail blazed in blue. And this trail definitely is a good up. It will get your heart rate up, get you breathing. But nothing too extreme. Pretty eroded trail. Alright, so let's get up there. And the trail has linked up with the Summit Access Road. So that is what we are now following. You can drive up South Sugarloaf to take in the views. And we are coming right up to it. Again, there is an access road to the summit. It's not yet open for the day. But, so, it's more like a park up here as people can drive up and enjoy the views. Alright, so let's start exploring around. Alright, so I just came up at the fire tower, the observation tower. This is not a fire tower. Here is the pan around. And there are 3 different viewing levels. We were just up there for the full pan around. This is level 2, the first level right there. Alright, so I'm back out at this spot. So we're going to take the Pecumtuck Ridge Trail this way toward North Sugarloaf. It is 1.4 miles to the summit from here. And there is the trail marker for the Pecumtuck Ridge Trail. And that is a big, steep, basically cliff face up there. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but my eyes certainly do. We are hiking along it right now. We are going to have to go up there eventually, so we'll see how the trail does that. But it is a sheer cliff on this side, as the trail seemingly goes around that cliff. Alright, well, we're heading up it now. So I pan out. The trail, certainly not a cliff face, but it is pretty steep as we continue up that way. Alright, so just checking in. South Sugarloaf wasn't bad, but you do have to put in work to get to North Sugarloaf, that's for sure. The trail is down that way. I'm sure the camera can't show the steepness, but it is pretty good as we continue up. Alright, so just checking in. We should be nearing the top of the ridge now, which should be right up there, that bump. Nice cliff face off that way. And we have come up to an intersection. Both ways will take you to the summit of North Sugarloaf. It does end up making a loop around, but to the left, it is quicker to the summit. So that is the way I am going to go. And we have some very limited views through the trees. That big bump right across the way right there, that is South Sugarloaf. So you can see what we just did, descended down there. Then we had to come right back up. Alright, so the trail is off that way. Well, here's a nice viewpoint that is still looking good. as we make our final approach to the summit. We are walking along the ridge line now, so it is much flatter, a bit more relaxing now. All right, and we have made it to the summit of North Sugarloaf Mountain. The high point looks like it is where those 3 dead trees are. Those trees have all seen better days. But this is the summit of North Sugarloaf. No signs, no fanfare for North Sugarloaf. It is actually the main peak, though. It is about a couple hundred feet higher than South Sugarloaf. Of course, South Sugarloaf gets all the attention with the great views and the tower and the park and the access road. But this is North Sugarloaf Mountain here. All right, so I'm going to keep going down the trail this way again. As I said, it loops around. All right, so just checking in, I am still on the Pecumtuck Range Trail, which can be used to make a big loop around back to where I started coming up North Sugarloaf. So that is what I'm going, well, that's what I'm going to continue to keep doing. So we have been descending, starting to level out again, but definitely have some more descending to do. This way is a lot gentler than the other way so far. All right, so we have come up to a junction. It is all the Pecumtuck Ridge Trail. Heading down that way, which looks pretty steep, that will take you down to another parking area on the other side of this reservation. So we are going to continue off this way to continue our loop. And we have made it to a junction. So to complete our loop, we are now going to jump onto this yellow blazed trail, which heads off this way. And we have come up to a stream crossing. Well, what would be a stream crossing if it hasn't been so dry. It is completely dry to the bone. It has been very dry. If you remember the Wachusett Mountain hike that I did recently, that is up on the channel, there was some wildfire fighting going on near the summit of that mountain. So it has certainly been dry. All right, and we've come up to another trail intersection marked by a cairn. So to complete our big loop around North Sugarloaf, we are going to head off this way to the left. This way we can hopefully descend to something that's not quite as steep as what we came up. That is the plan. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so those steep cliffs are up that way. Again, you probably can't see them on camera, but this way that I came down, definitely much, much gentler than the more direct route up. So that was a very nice loop. Again, it was a long loop, but it was a very nice hike. But yeah, that was definitely gentler than the way I went up. And look, there's a boulder hiding behind the tree. Because it's hiding, I'm going to name it the Boulder of the Hike right there. So you can get your spotlight. All right, we're continuing. We're getting close to where this loop all began. All right, so I just came from there. I've done it. I've completed the loop. That is where I went up. There are the cliffs there. This way will take you back to South Sugarloaf. So that's what we are doing now. All right, and I've made it back to this point. So that was North and South Sugarloaf in the Mount Sugarloaf State Reservation. So I'm going to jump back onto the red blazed Old Mountain Trail to head out. So I hope that you enjoyed this hiking adventure. Thank you for watching.